Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Hey everybody, Chris Pirillo here, and this is your Geek Out for Friday, July 6th, 2012. Our Geek Out's brought to you by GoToAssist from Citrix. Working in IT can be crazy and unpredictable. Unless you have GoToAssist, it'll help you stay on top of it all. GoToAssist's world-class remote support allows you to solve your users' problems quickly from anywhere. For a free 30-day trial, visit GoToAssist.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Pirillo. Please stop sneaky third-party mobile subscriptions. Have you looked at your phone bill lately? You should do that every single time. I sign up for email alerts so I know when the bill is a little higher than it was last month, and then I investigate. You should never just take it on faith that the company, whatever company, is going to charge you what you agreed to, because then, of course, they add on these taxes and fees and, surprise, surprise, third-party mobile subscriptions that you never really signed up for. It sucks, especially if you get caught in the trap and they're charging you for something that you don't realize you signed up for, even on accident. That's why I never reply to text messages from numbers that I do not know. It's an easy way of getting dinged. Has that ever happened to you? A week with Android 4.1, also known as Jelly Bean. While I have not yet received my Nexus 7 tablet from Google, I am very much looking forward to it, if only because it's the first version of Android I'm really excited about. I mean, ice cream sandwich, yay, it's better, but 4.1, this, I would say, is a dramatic improvement over all earlier versions of Android because of one thing, Project Butter. Now, for anybody who would claim, oh, Android was just fine before, maybe for you, but for the rest of the world, we were waiting for Android to get buttery. Now it's buttery. So everybody can benefit. That's all you need to know. Even if you loved Android before or you never loved Android at all, you need to look at an Android 4.1 device. Back up your computer, back up your computer, back up your computer, back up your computer. This is another tale of woe. Someone didn't back up their computer and they lost all their data. If there's one reason to live in the cloud, not on a cloud, I mean in the cloud, whatever service you choose to use, it's your data, man. You don't want to lose everything that you had stored. It's one reason I love using Google Docs to store spreadsheets and documents and presentations. I mean, I don't really have any sensitive information there. If there, I would be a bit more careful with using Google Docs and not password protecting or limiting the amount of people that might be able to see one document or another. But I'm not as concerned with my drives crashing as I used to be. Professional podcasting, when your audience numbers don't matter. So you can subscribe to this podcast in iTunes if you haven't already. Maybe you're watching it in iTunes or in your favorite podcasting applications. We are available. We have a podcast feed you can subscribe to. You don't have to just watch us on YouTube alone. You can take us on the go without an internet connection, the value of a podcast. But people ask me, oh, Chris, shouldn't I wait until I have 1 million listeners or viewers before I need to pay attention? No, if you have 100 listeners or viewers and they're really tuned in to what you have to say, that says it all. It's one of the reasons why the vlog that we're now producing every day on YouTube and as a podcast, I pay attention more to the amount of likes that we receive versus the amount of comments or the amount of views that any particular video gets. Because that tells me that 1,000 people on average are watching and engaging with that content. That's important. That's what you want. You would rather have 1,000 tuned in people than 1 million people who really don't care about you at all. Microsoft's future, Part 1. Coming soon, Windows 8, and a radical usability departure from what you've been used to with Windows, and I think that's going to be very jarring for consumers who don't like change. I went off on a diatribe yesterday on the Facebook account, facebook.com/Chris Pirillo, as well as my Google Plus page, really explaining to users that are like you or me, the geekier part of the universe, that most people, the normies, the 99%, don't like change. I mean, my dad freaks out if you move an icon. What happened to my Google? I can't get to the Google. Dad, it's right there. No, I used to do it this way. And if you change anything, they have a freaking meltdown, man. Tell me you know someone like that. And that's like most of the world, okay? So they don't like change. Windows 8 has a chance. But it's not going to be me who decides that Windows 8 is going to succeed. It's going to be the users. What are the average users saying? What are people like my dad, your grandmother, what are they saying about Windows? Do they really want to change? Or are they going to cling to Windows XP or Windows 7 or, heaven forbid, Windows Vista? How to log into router settings. This is a common question. You'd think that everybody would know. Well, if you're not a nerd and you really don't know what router you even have connected. In fact, here's a test. How many of you out there know which router you're using? I guarantee you know which router you're using. And my guess is that at least 50% of my audience has flashed their router with some kind of open source firmware. Hey, good for you, but that's not most of the world. Most of the world doesn't know. And honestly, they don't care. And to tell you the truth, they really don't need to care. So when they're looking for an easier way of managing what it is that they shouldn't have to manage at all, they look for a way to log into router settings. So we created an article showing people how to log into router settings. So instead of you having to explain to someone who asks you how to do it, you can just send them a link to, well, the article that we posted in the description. Mozilla Thunderbird is it's gone. Sorry, everybody who used Thunderbird. They're not really actively developing it anymore. Facebook and Yahoo will end litigation in a patent peace deal. So they're going to share each other's patents. That's how patent wars usually end. Usually, not always. The hope is, at some point, we will eliminate software patents, but until then, we can only hope that, those who get patents would figure out a way to work with other companies in a way that they could both survive in the marketplace, because that's kind of the bottom line. They're in business, and they don't care about anything except for one thing. Every business only cares about one thing: profit. Now, it's a better business if they also care about their customers. Certainly, that's a part of it. That's the PR, the outreach. But without profit, a business can't survive. So they have to do whatever they can to drive profit, especially if they have shareholders. Internet access is a human right, says United Nations. It's about time. I mean, in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I would probably put internet right up there because it gives me access to the world. Could you live without the internet? Twitter adds incremental useful search features. World yawns. Yeah, no doubt about that. I don't know. You go to Twitter now and you go into search and then it auto-populates a few possible results. It's really not that... I don't even know why I mentioned it. Go look. It's there. AT&T planning new option to hinder stolen devices. It's about time. We covered this topic a few months ago, if you remember, and I'm glad to see AT&T stepping up to the plate and doing just that. I mean, if you've sold the device and done it in some legal way, I think it's fine to use or reuse existing devices or used devices or devices used by somebody else. But if that device was stolen, it could still be used on an existing network, and usually carriers don't care. AT&T starting to care. Dodgy DRM server to blame for corrupted iOS and Mac apps. If you installed any updates recently, you may want to reinstall them. Apple's fixed the problem. Yay! We have a question here from YouTube. Well, I'm waiting for you to ask a question so that I can answer it. That's what I need you to do. Ask a question. A question that we haven't answered before. A question that you really, really, really want to know the answer about. And a question that's a good question that I could possibly answer. Not a question that's going to lead me to give you a general answer that I could give anybody. Give me a good question. A good thinker question. But I need you to come up with the questions. Otherwise, it's just me sitting here making up questions. And that's not very fun or exciting at all. Unless they're fun questions, I guess. Do you have any fun questions? I'll take those. We'll video for questions. Can't we all just get along? Yes, we can. Will you later.